Let me begin with the news of the day, if you don't mind. One of your largest investments, Emirates Global Aluminum, among the largest aluminum producers outside China, reported results, record results this morning for 2017. Profit is up almost 60%. Here's what I'd like to know. Why is that such an important milestone for Mubadala?
You know, I'm very proud of this company. This is a company that is, has a rich history, 40 years, industrial champion from the UAE. It's a company that is, as a result of a merger between Emirates Aluminum and Dubai Aluminum. This company is now the largest exporter outside oil and gas in the United Arab Emirates. So it's a massive industrial champion for the UAE, one of the largest employers in the UAE. It's owned 50% by the government of Dubai through the Investment Corporation of Dubai and 50% by Mubadala, the government of Abu Dhabi through Mubadala. So it's a partnership between Abu Dhabi and Dubai. It's an industrial champion in the UAE. It's got 40 years of history through the two companies that were the history of the before this merged entity. It's a global player. It's the 5th largest producer in the world. So really, I think it's a company that we feel very strongly about, and we feel about the future very excited.
Now, that future involves a public offering. You have said that this public offering, this IPO, is going to take place in 2018. Of course, anyone who's taking a company public has to be very sensitive to market conditions. Market conditions look pretty optimal right now. Natural resources companies are trading at the highest valuations and prices in something like 7 or 8 years.
The company's been well managed. Let me start with that. We are in the top quartile in terms of profitability globally. We are in the top quartile in terms of cost. We are in the top 10 percentile in terms of the quality of the output that we produce. We produce 2.6 million tons, which makes us one of the 5 top producers in the world. This year we posted $1.8 billion in EBITDA, $900 million in net income. We distributed a dividend of about $550 million. So the company over the last couple of years has been working very well to get to this point where we are ready for an IPO. I think the time is right for many reasons. The market is in the right place.
Will it happen in the first half?
I would say we are confident we'll do it in 2018. Whether it's the first half or the second half really depends on the market conditions. It's difficult for me to give you a specific thing on that because we haven't really made that decision.
Now let's talk about some of the other parameters, the size of the offering and what percentage of the company you plan to float.
So that's what we're currently debating. I expect us to make a decision on that in the next couple of weeks.
Well, $3 billion is the number that has been discussed previously. Is that still current?
I think we'll be around that range. Nothing for me to say specifically today because we haven't made that final decision. But I think we'll be in that range.
Now, where's it going to trade?
That is another very important decision. As you go to an IPO, you have to decide how much you're going to obviously put on the market and where. And these are all decisions that we are currently in the final stages of.
What's your bias? Do you want it to trade? What's better? Is it better for the stock to trade in London? Is it better for it to trade in New York? Is it better for it to trade only here?
I want what's best for the shareholders. And I want what's best for the long-term sustainability and success of the company. That's going to be the parameters of which we're going to decide where it's going to trade.
Which exchange is doing the best job marketing itself to you?
Both are fighting very hard. Both are working very hard for this.
Both meaning?
I mean, I'm talking about the exchanges in the UAE.
Ah, here. And what about abroad?
Many are, and I won't specify which one. Like I told you, we're going to make a decision soon on that.
Khaldoon, what kind of investment posture do you have headed into the rest of 2018? Are you focused on deploying cash or harvesting cash?
Both. In the stages, there are many of our businesses that are in, I think, the right place for monetization. And we've done a lot of that in 2017, successful monetizations where we felt many of the investments we've made reached the right stage for it to be monetized. We'll do more of that in 2018. But also we're deploying capital. We're deploying capital in new sectors. We'll continue to deploy capital in sectors like technology, in new sectors that we haven't had a big let's say, asset allocation within our portfolio, such as real estate, infrastructure. We're going to be deploying more capital in those spaces, biotech, agriculture.
What other companies of yours might be ready for a public offering?
We have another 2 that I will not say which ones, but I can say there's 2. And I think in 2018, EGA will be IPO'd and potentially another 1 or 2.
And what sectors?
If I say, you'll know. So I'm going to hold it.
You're both a development company and an investment company. When you talk about rates of return, with the capital that you're deploying today, what kinds of rates of return are you expecting?
Well, we look at every sector we're involved in, and we look at benchmarks within that sector, and we try to match that benchmark and beat it. That's really how we look at it.
But with valuations as high as they are,
it's very tough.
Right? With interest rates rising, the calculus changes.
The calculus is not easy, I can assure you. That's one of the biggest challenges we face from a risk perspective. But at the end of the day, we are a long-term investor, and we are programmed in that way.
How much capital do you think Mubadala will deploy in 2018?
You see, I'm thinking because it depends on market conditions from one perspective. I think we have a plan. We have a decision that we've made in terms of the investments that we are going to do. And I think you'll see in the next couple of weeks some big announcements in terms of some deployments. But there's also monetizations. So the question here is, what is the net
I'm thinking on a gross basis, not on a net basis.
You know, I'm not at liberty to disclose that right now, but I can say it's also a substantial amount.
I don't know what substantial means.
Substantial is substantial.
Many billions of dollars?
Let's say a couple $1 billion.
Now, you have maintained a cash position. Yes. Are you interested in working that cash position down?
We have a strategy with Mubadala to maintain a cash position that we've defined, which I can't say right now, so I'll preempt the next question. But we have let's say, minimum threshold that we will always maintain from a risk perspective.
People are interested in knowing what you're doing in technology because you've set up an office in San Francisco. You've also put $15 billion with SoftBank in the Vision Fund and the Delta Fund. Besides SoftBank, what are you doing in technology? What investments have you made since establishing that office a few months ago?
Well, there's no question that technology is now a priority for us as Mubadala, and there's no question that our SoftBank commitment is substantial. Now, that's a substantial commitment. So $15 billion that we've committed to that fund. We've deployed approximately $5 billion of that already in over 20 transactions. It's a very important platform for us. The deal flow has been very strong. We're working obviously very closely with my friend Massa and the management team in SoftBank that are doing a really exceptional job managing that fund. But that's also given us a lot of access to deal flow and knowledge into that, let's say, new sector for us. That's allowed us to set up a new office in San Francisco. We've mobilized the team there. We've started a small fund there, comparatively.
Have you made investments yet?
We've deployed a couple of small investments, small ones.
What should we expect in the future?
I think, so we're going to be activating a lot more in that sphere. I expect us to invest more capital through our San Francisco office, independently of SoftBank, but also obviously SoftBank because of the size and obviously the level of commitment we've made there, that's going to be a priority.
And how much money have you set aside to do that?
For this year?
Yes.
A couple $100 million.